Finder has found that nearly half of all Australians have $1,000 or less in savings amid the cost of living crisis. And even more shocking, 1 in 5 Aussies admit they have no savings at all. 76% of Australians say they're stressed with their current financial situation. I suppose that's not terribly surprising, but it means something as simple as an emergency doctor's appointment or a flat tyre, or in the case of my car a couple of weeks ago, the oil level sensor failing 2.5 grand later, will send a family to the wall. And I mean, you know, you got $15 a week is coming in July from the federal government. I'm sure that'll be of great consequence to most people. But it really puts into perspective how bad this situation is, because, you know, most people have struggled by, and I don't think most people like to make a point of exactly how difficult they're doing it, because it almost feels to them like they are failing themselves and they're failing their families and whatever. But when you've got that many people in a first world country, per capita, one of the wealthiest nations in the world, living hand to mouth like that, we have a serious problem.
We definitely have a very serious problem. The cost of living is out of control. I honestly don't know what the solution is. I don't think that it's, I don't think it's going to be a simple solution. I don't think, Labor being, in federal power at the moment, I don't think that it's completely up to them to fix this. I don't think they can. I think serious reformation needs to happen. But the problem that we're going to have with this cost of living crisis, with people not having savings, is we're going to create more of a welfare state. We're going to get more in debt, and the cycle is going to continue. Not only that, young people are going to feel like things that they want, like owning a home or owning land, are going to be so unreachable that we may as well not even bother trying. And it's going to create this cycle of violence. We're just going to keep going around. It's going to be harder and harder for young people to feel like they can achieve these things. I actually don't know what the answer is, what the solution is, but it's going to take a huge overhaul of something, huge reformation, and we all I think conversations need to be had.
Well, how much of a problem do you think it poses for the federal government, Sam? Because, you've got a federal election coming within the next year. And, you've had Albanese saying downward pressure. Our number one issue is cost of living. But for most people, they've really seen very little in a practical sense that has been done for them in terms of cost of living. How much does that potentially hurt the federal government?
Look, I think the problem is it's been going for so long that people stop believing that any government can do anything to fix cost of living, and cost of living is such a huge amorphous term, everything from housing to childcare to schools to transport. It's just so big. I do want to give a quick shout out. So in my day job, I'm at Vinnie's, and there is a program that we run for people like this. So 20% of Australians don't have either credit on their credit card, or they don't have the ability to get a credit card, which is a huge number of Australians. So as you say, when something goes wrong in their lives, they hit rock bottom. Come and see us. Don't go and see, a payday lender. We've got programs that we can either give you direct financial assistance, or if you're doing a little bit better, we can give you a no-interest loan, so you can pay us back the $1,000 or $2,000 over several months. But we can help. You don't need to find yourself in a position where you think there is no one that can help. Get in touch with Vinnie's, and if not Vinnie's, if we're not the flavour of choice, Salvos or Mission or whoever your assistance agency has to be. Last year we saw 35% of the people that we assisted in early intervention schemes, 35% had never seen one of our systems before. Had never seen one.
I didn't even know that. That's the thing. People don't know about these things. I don't know if it's spoken about enough. But that also worries me a little bit. I think that's great short term, and I think it's fantastic that there are programs like that to help people in emergencies. But what's the long-term solution here?
Well, you've got more and more people relying on them, and it's the same with Food Bank. The number of people they've seen coming through in recent years who've never gone to a food bank before. Many of them in full-time jobs, but they're just living so hard hand to mouth that they can't
absolutely. That's the biggest group that we see. They're not your homeless guys on the streets. That's obviously a core community that we still service, but they're working 2 and sometimes 3 jobs, and then they get a power bill come through, or the car breaks, or something happens, and they just don't know where else to turn, and they come to us, and thankfully we're able to help them.
I think this is where left and right politics have to have a ceasefire. Labor, Liberal, this is something that requires all of us to just show the humanity in each other.
Correct.
6 feet of dirt makes all men equal, Spurgeon says.
Now,